PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of We Have the Power is brought to you by Classy Communications, PR, and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and non-profit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Well, welcome to We Have the Power. Today, this is live on the last Thursday of June 2025, and that's significant because today is the first segment that will happen the last Thursday of the month called So You Want to Be a Blank, and we'll talk about that right after this important message. I'll be right back. If you have the proper tool, usually things just go better. And one of the best tools in keeping our young people away from drugs and alcohol abuse are the booklets from the Drug-Free World Truth About Drugs organization. Now, they have a series of booklets. Certainly, this is a drug that is out there, marijuana, and also they have it in Spanish. These booklets are free. You just go to drugfreeworld.org and you can obtain these booklets and share them with your family members, your friends. And this is a way to make sure they have the proper information, because these booklets do not say, don't take these drugs. They say this will happen to you if you do. And there's also a compilation booklet that has a series of different topics in there. One is alcohol, one is ecstasy, cocaine, crystal meth. We know that inhalants can be abused, heroin, LSD, and even prescription drugs can be abused. So use the right tool, get these free booklets from Drug-Free World, and avail yourself and your family members, especially young people that you know and are in your family, of these booklets, so that we protect our young people and our loved ones from ever getting involved with drugs or alcohol abuse. Welcome back. I'm your host, Brian Gardner. We Have the Power normally covers society issues, current topics, what's happening in the world. But the final Thursday of every month, a new segment is something I'm going to share with all of you. And please spread the word about this because it's very important. So you want to be a bricklayer, a construction worker, a nurse, a doctor, a politician, an electrician. We will help individuals understand what it's like to be in an industry before they go down the road to doing that industry, maybe go to a 4-year college, spend lots of money and time going, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor. Then they get the end of their training and start being a doctor and find out they really don't like it. They didn't know some of the downsides of being a doctor. Well, my segment at the end of each month is going to, again, ask the question, so you want to be and we're going to interview industry professionals who have been working in industries for many years and can tell us the upside, the downside, the so-so side, what it takes to be successful, why they're successful, what kind of personality you need to be able to do a particular job and be successful at it, work in an industry or have your own company in a particular industry. And of course, if you're the head of a company, that comes with a whole nother set of skills and duties and things you'll have to do that it would be helpful for an individual wanting to go into a particular career path to hear from someone who's been doing it for 20 years or so and go, oh, I'm so glad I listened to that because I don't want to do that. I didn't know that was part of being a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, that sort of thing. So we are going to be getting the word out there. Now, if you're watching this program and you have someone you know who's been in a particular industry for a long, long time, then you can refer them to me, and I'll give my email, and then I'll give my email again at the end of the program. Tell them I'm looking for guests who've been involved with an industry for a long time. And you can have them email me at bgardner, just like the name that's, let me do it this way, that's right. I'm trying to do it right there. Right there. bgardner2323 at yahoo.com. And I would like to talk to them, get them on as a guest. Now, let's look at how a young person must feel. They are now old enough to be a factor in society. And to get a job, you have to have something on your resume. Well, if you haven't had any jobs before, you have nothing on your resume. So how the heck do you get something on your resume which will allow you to get a job? And that's only the first frustrating hurdle that young people experience. A lot of times companies won't hire you because I can tell you haven't done this kind of work before. Come back and see me in a couple of years. Now, if a young person is locked out of society, that allows them, if they're upset about that, to get involved with drugs and alcohol abuse because they feel like they can't go anywhere. They're stuck. This is as far as they can go, and there's a ceiling there they can't break through. And just like the infomercial I ran before I started the program today and each program, we certainly don't want our young people to start getting involved with alcohol abuse and drug use. Now, the other thing that can happen, if someone feels that they're blocked off from being part of society, they're going to start attacking society. They're going to go, well, they don't like me anyway. They won't open any doors for me. So I'm going to start, stealing and, start doing unethical things because they don't like me anyway. We don't want our young people to feel that we don't trust them or don't want them to be part of society. Now, an offshoot idea that I want to put out there besides watching this program, so you want to be a whatever, with industry professionals that they can share tremendous amount of information. They've been doing it. So they're going to give you, like I said, the good, the bad, everything. But employers who don't want to have criminality and looting going on in their communities could set up a program that I thought about years ago called It Can Happen to You. And let me explain what my idea was with this, because any business owner watching could really benefit their community and their own business by implementing parts or all of It Could Happen to You. The basic idea is somebody comes and you interview them and you hire them for a short period of time. And you monitor 5 or 6 different points. Did they arrive on time? Could they work independently? Were they fun to have in the place? Were they ethical? Were they productive? Were they creative? Did they keep themselves busy when they finished a task? Did they come back to you for more tasks? Somebody who's a really good worker. Then you would fill this out and you would give them a copy of this. And that's the first thing they have on their resume. Now, I know business owners are saying money is tight, time is tight. I don't know if I have time to monitor somebody, but you're only having them in for a short time. But what if you are also getting to evaluate Tom Smith or Betty Jones? Maybe you want to hire them after this evaluation period. But what the business owner is doing, or what the business is doing, is making those young people feel that they're welcome in society. You're helping them by giving them items for their resume. Oh, yes. I worked at B&B Electronics for their 6-week program called It Can Happen to You. I went in over a 6-week period. They paid me minimum wage. That was fine. The money was not the important point. They got to evaluate. If you look at my form here, sir, I arrived on time. I was dressed properly. I conducted myself properly in the workplace. I was creative, productive. When I finish a task, I let them know. Good communication skills. Wow, that's good. Imagine a young person having a handful of these kinds of reports from businesses, and the businesses seeing a drop in crime because young people are welcomed in to society, not blocked out. So any business owner that wants to do this, just take it upon yourself to do this. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's 4 weeks you evaluate someone. It has to be more than a week, because in 1 week, a person can arrive on time, look good, smell good, be good. When it gets to be 4 weeks, if they have some flaws, then it will rise to the surface. Now, here's the thing. Let's say Tom Smith comes in and maybe he's late once or something. You don't want to say, yeah, he was late once. You want to say, look, Tom, fix whatever you need to fix so you're on time the rest of the time that you're getting evaluated under It Can Happen to You. And then what I can put on your little form that I'm going to give you is that, Tom Smith rose to the occasion, corrected a few things that were, not as good as they could have been. He did great. We mentioned a couple things to him. Boom, he handled it perfectly. Then you make it a true report, but it's not negative. Yes, he was late one day, and you just leave it at that. You don't say Tom Smith really fixed it. He was never late again, So you want to, if you're a business owner and you really care about the community and you care about young people not wanting to attack communities because they feel like they're shut out, always make it a positive report and talk to Tom Smith or Betty Jones. Say, hey, here's a couple things that I think you could fix easily. And boy, employers would love it. Help them with that. It just takes a sentence or two. Then you can put on their report after evaluating them for the next 3 weeks that they rose. They started out here and they rose to here under our guidance, and they maintained this level of productivity, level of being professional in the workplace. And that's important, because somebody who wants to hire Tom Smith or Betty Jones, they're going to look, oh, yeah, you had a few things you needed to work on, and you did work on them. And over the 3-week period, the people that were doing the It Can Happen to You program with you showed in their report that you came right up here and you maintained this. That's a good thing to do. The other thing is to make sure that you talk to your fellow associates. If you start putting some young people through It Can Happen to You, simple program, then tell your other business owners that this will help lower crime. Kids will feel a part of the system. Students will get something on their resume. If they're working, they're going to get into less trouble. It's good for the community. And you get to evaluate a person, and it doesn't cost you a lot. The money is not the thing. You're paying a minimum wage during this evaluation period. And maybe you want to have somebody, let's say you're a business that depends on the holidays. Have them in when it's very hectic. See if they get overwhelmed easily. See if they don't. And if they get overwhelmed a little bit the first day they're there, pull them aside. Say, hey, here's a way not to be so overwhelmed. Just take one task at a time, or whatever advice you give them. Then again, on their evaluation form, you can say, oh, it's pretty busy here at our business during the holidays. And Sally Smith, had a little trouble in the beginning because things are so rapid. took her aside, told her how things work here. Boy, she rose to the occasion, never had trouble again. And that would help Sally Smith to get a job. Of course, that's a wonderful testament from a business that's evaluated her for 4 weeks, not just come in one day, you look pretty good. Okay, let me sign this off. No, over 4 weeks, if a person has any areas they need to improve, they'll show up. A lot of people, maybe the first day, don't dress appropriately for the workplace. They're going to be a receptionist. They need to look, pretty nice. I remember years ago, I want to share this anecdote with you. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. For a short time, I worked with the Manpower organization where they get you short-term jobs. And I got a job being the person to greet people who were bringing their resumes in to get hired for UPS. I was aghast. I could not believe the number of people came in. Do you have a pen? You see if I have a piece of paper that looks as bad as theirs did. Something like this, or worse. Their resumes were horrible. Looked like they just pulled it out from under a pile of newspapers, all crunched up, No pens. Now, UPS is a warehouse type job. I understand. But even though you don't have to dress at a high level for UPS when you're sorting boxes or whatever, this is a hint to anybody listening who's going out to get a job. Dress a little higher, dress a little nicer than you normally would dress at work, because that is a strong statement to the prospective employer that you took the time to go, I'm going to dress nicely. And then he'll say, by the way, your resume looks good. Now, you'll be able to wear jeans and just a T-shirt here. It's fine. Oh, yes, I understand. I just wanted to look professional here for the interview. Well, thank you. That was very nice of you. Make sure your resume is not crunched up. Make sure it's clean, looks good, simple, easy to read. Use a top font type that is easy to read. Don't get creative. Don't put it on colored paper. Have it one page. But these are things that you can also help someone with when they're going through the It Can Happen to You program. So enough on that for a minute. Anyone listening, if you have any questions, just email me. I'll give my email again at the end of this program if you have questions about the It Can Happen to You program. So back to this one. So you want to be a. Now, it is very expensive. Would everybody agree to go to college? You think you want to be a doctor. You think you want to work in the emergency ward. You think you want to be a construction person. You think you want to work on an oil rig. Maybe you saw something that looked pretty good about doing that. But this is how much, let me get where you can really see it. That's how much you really know about working on an oil rig, being a dentist, being a doctor. My program is designed to give you this much information, because you might watch a program. Let's say I'm going to do this the last Thursday of every month. So let's say there's 5 or 6 months go by. I didn't want to be a baker, didn't want to be a candlestick maker, didn't want to be this, that, and the other. Boom. He's now interviewing somebody that I have thought seriously about doing that job, that career. Boy, am I going to listen. Now, during the interview, when I'm talking to a person, let's say who's a construction worker, let's say you have a preconceived idea. Oh, I know what construction is. Okay, I have an idea. In interviewing the head of a construction company, I'm going to ask him as many questions as I can about the good, the bad, and the so-so. You might hear something during that interview. Wow, I did not know that. And either it'll make you go, yeah, I even want to be a construction worker more, or it's going to be, I didn't know that's what it took. I'm not so sure I want to be a construction worker, or whatever job we're talking about, whatever career path we're talking about. And that can be very helpful to you, because the clock is ticking on all our lives, right? So you don't want to spend 5 years getting yourself way down this path, and then find out when you get down here, you go, this is not what I really want to do. I wish I would have known back here before I went all the way down here, what this job entailed. Now, there was a particular X-Files, and I bring this up not because I'm a fan of the X-Files, but there was a particular scene where the FBI agent Scully had to do an autopsy on someone. And one of the lone gunmen was standing there, and she goes, "Are you sure you can handle this? We're going to be, cutting into this guy's body." "Oh, yeah, it's fine. Totally fine. Yeah." So she starts, dissecting this, checking the brain, various things. I wouldn't have wanted to been standing there. And he eventually runs off and gets sick to his stomach. Well, I bring that X-Files episode scene up because he thought he was cool. Oh, yeah, go ahead, do the autopsy. It was a friend of his, too. But he didn't get sick to his stomach because it was a friend of him. He got sick to his stomach because, she was taking out his organs and looking at him and weighing this and what, pretty heavy duty. Well, if he really wanted to work as someone in the medical field, maybe he wouldn't have got sick to his stomach and would have just been able to, okay, that's an organ she's taken out. Okay, I can handle it. But that's what you need to know before you go too far down the road in any given career. Now, some people think it's so wonderful to be a musician. Wow, go on tour, get a record contract. And they forget the idea, just like a long-distance truck driver, all the freedom. You don't have a boss yelling at you. You're out in the open road, get to see the country. But if you want to have a relationship with someone and a family, these two occupations, long-distance truck driver and performing musician, or an actor, who is not in the movie so much, but goes around the country and does plays, you're going to be away from home for a significant amount of time. And what people hear is this: oh, so fun to be a truck driver. I get to see the country. So fun to be a musician. I get to travel all over, play music for a career. Wow. That's what they hear mainly. Over on this side, right there, they don't hear they're going to be away from home. They're going to be in a situation with a lot of drugs and alcohol. And if you're a male, there's going to be a lot of women approaching you. And if you're married, you want to stay true to your partner. A lot of temptations in both those industries because you're kind of out on your own. But the senior thing is, and I hope I get to interview a musician who's been at it for a long time and on the road. I've been a musician since 1969, but I've always just played local. But I'd like to talk to a musician. So if you're a musician listening, please contact me. If you've been on the road, tell me how you handle the situation with the family when you're gone for 6 to 8 months. Sometimes tours can be almost a year long. Truck drivers who are long distance truck drivers, the only way you make money is you are driving from here to New York with a bunch of stuff. You can't say, well, I'd like to stay home this week. Really? And these are things you have to know about a career path. Now, let's get away from young people for a minute. Let's say you're 30 or 35, and you say, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I'm sick of it. I don't want to do that anymore. So now you're in transition. And one of these programs that I do, one of these interviews with somebody who has been doing a particular task for a long time will give you the insight. And you can watch many shows. Maybe there's 5 or 6 things that you are interested in as being in transition. You think, well, I might want to do this. I kind of like that. I've heard this is pretty good. And then you can watch many of these interviews over the months. You can even contact me and say, could you interview somebody in this career? I'm thinking about it. Of course, I'll find somebody. And that way, if you're in transition, you get help. Because if you're in transition, you probably are under more pressure than a kid who's still living at home. You're in transition. You don't want to quit your job. before you have the other job secure, and you don't know enough about these other areas that you think you might like. And now time is running out. So I hope my show would be very helpful in those kind of situations. And, We Have the Power is the name of the show. And we have this segment that we're going to do at the end of the month, the last Thursday of each month. So you want to be well, don't we have the power to help our young people and people in transition to get back into a job? If somebody is working, they're happy, they're productive, they're helping to put something into the community, not just taxes, but they're out there and doing good things. And they're also generating income. They're using gas, they're buying clothes, they're buying whatever they need to do their job. If they're a mechanic, they got to buy tools. So they're putting money into the economy as well. So We Have the Power ties in perfectly with this once a month segment I'm going to be doing, because we do have the power to help people in transition and young people to get started on a career path that they won't just go, I wish I would have known more about this. I don't want to do this, So that's something that has to be taken a look at. Now, there are certain things, as we wrap up here, we're getting close to the end of this show. Next time I do this segment will be July. The last Thursday in July is the 24th. I'm going to be interviewing my son, who has successfully run Franklin Printing for 19 years here in Las Vegas. So if you're interested in getting into the printing industry, if you know how someone has managed to keep going all those years, tune in on the 24th of July at 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be interviewing Austin Gardner, the head of Franklin Printing, about how he has kept this business alive for 19 years. What's the good? What's the bad? If you want to go into the printing business, he'll have plenty of advice for you. So anyway, we have the power to help people who are in transition, or young people, because when people are productive, that's when they are happiest. They are putting money into the economy if they're working. And the other key thing, the final thing I want to say is, if you want to go into a particular career, you also need to look, do I get a retirement? How long do I have to work before I get a retirement? These are things that are important, because at some point you are going to get to the age where you just don't want to work that particular job anymore. Well, you don't want to be knocked out of that industry and there's no retirement, or maybe the retirement doesn't matter to you. But that is something that I will certainly ask these people. So watch We Have the Power every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Check the previous shows, but then you can count on the fact that the final Thursday of the month, I will be doing a segment on So You Want to Be and we will talk with industry professionals about their career path, how they got into it, why they got into it. Again, the ups and downs. And it'll help you to decide, is that a career I want to go into? I was thinking I did. Well, you'll know pretty much the 100% on what it is to be a particular person working in a particular field or running a business in that field. I thank you for watching today. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, and at the last Thursday of every month, a segment of So You Want to Be with another industry professional, giving you insights into what it takes to be successful in a variety of industries. Thank you for watching.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.